Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions, and today what I thought we could do is make some pockets that were inspired by Joie De Fi. I think she did hers quite a long time ago. She had a video called her 3 favourite pockets. I'm just going to tackle the most basic really of the the second most basic of the pockets. Absolutely, you know, brilliant idea, super easy to make, and of course that's what we all like, isn't it? Super easy. So what I've brought along is a variety of papers and things, and I also have got a variety of thicknesses. So some are more copyweight, you know, paper, and some are thicker. So we'll just kind of see how we get on. I've also brought some sheet music along, and we'll just see how we get on with that as well. So if you're going to make the same pockets as me, you're just going to need some glue, some scissors, maybe a little, you know, glue spreader, probably your bone folder. I still haven't located mine, would you believe? It's still buried somewhere in my pile, which is just very annoying. And I must just make a vow to never say, I always keep such and such in, you know, such and such a place, because lo and behold, no sooner do I say that than of course I've then lost it. I am just double checking to make sure it's not still buried in my pen pot, but I'm pretty sure that it's not. So yeah, very annoying. I don't know why I said that, because it was just then bound to go missing, wasn't it? Anyway, so you may want to have a bone folder. Again, I don't measure. If you like to measure, you may want your guillotine or, you know, whatever it is that you use to measure. And I think that's it. And of course, if you want to decorate, you may want to bring some decorating things. Right, I've just switched my lamp off, so I hope that the viewing is still okay. It's just it gets very hot up here, and I've already done a couple of videos already this morning, so it's actually very, very warm up here already, and I don't want to open the window because there might be, you know, traffic noise. So I'm just going to have to kind of boil up here with the light off. Hopefully it won't be so bad. So let's get making and see how we get on. So I think I will try first of all with just some paper here. This obviously you can see I was printing out my butterflies and things, so you know, completely now, I mean, it's not scrap exactly, but you know, I'm using up something that otherwise may not be used. And what I'm going to do, I think, is just fold in. Now this is how she did hers, was she just folded in, and Joey makes lots of her things out of recycled you know, magazines and book pages and things like that, and she makes absolutely lovely you know, pockets and things. So obviously mine are going to look quite different to hers, but hopefully, you know, hopefully they're going to turn out okay. I did make a couple of practice runs the other day, so we just then fold this in like that. Oops. So you've made a sort of you know, like a tube, I guess. If you were to glue that sort of gusset piece down, you've got like a tube in there. And then all she did was literally folded up her other end, you know, that she wanted as her other end. And already I'm kind of wishing that I'd done it the other way round, but you know, it's fine. So she just then brought it up like that. Now I'm going to trim mine down slightly because I don't necessarily, you know, want it as big as that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this end off slightly. And actually I probably am better off doing that after it's glued, because then it's held together and it won't be, you know, won't be coming apart so much. Oh, this is not very good, is it? Look. I just that second before I switched the camera on, I unclogged the glue. I mean, not that it was clogged up, actually. I've probably clogged it up now by thinking I was unclogging it, because I thought, oh, let's not have glue problems or anything today. And now look, instantly I have glue problems. No sooner do I switch the camera on than I'm having glue problems. Right, come on. Oh gosh, would you believe this? This is not a good start. Okay. Come on, play the game, play the game. Right, I might have to get another glue, because I've got some other glues, because in the lockdown I did stock up in the end on this tacky glue, so I actually have got quite a few of them. So it's not the end of the world. If my glue fails, I can just grab another one. you know, and just then use that one in slow time when it's not going to be quite so irritating for people watching. In fact, it's worked out really handy buying them like that, because I haven't had to nip to the shops to buy glue for, you know, the entire lockdown, which has been brilliant. Well, I did the first, you know, couple of weeks need extra glue, but since then it's worked out fantastic. So I think I'm going to just, you know, stick to buying it in bulk actually. Right, so then I'm going to bring my fold up here. Again, probably would be better off here at this point with a bone folder or waiting for the glue to dry. But again, you know, we're doing mass making here, so I'm just going to bring it up regardless. And I'll just squash it with my spreader there. And then I'm just going to take this across here, like that. Like that, I think. Is that very straight? That's not too bad. Not too bad. And then what I'm going to do is just glue this piece like this. So I'm going to put the glue down on one side like that, and then across the top like that. Oops. Right, it might be time to get my other, you know, new glue out. Okay. I've been really busy this morning. My own fault completely, because we went away camping, and you know, it was a bit of an impromptu thing, and so subsequently I obviously hadn't really kind of got particularly organised before we went. Well, not that I could actually. I was going to say with replying to emails and things. Of course, I mean, I couldn't because they came in whilst I was away. So actually that was really neither here nor there. But yeah, so I'm still trying to play catch up really with all the things that I got behind on while we were away. I mean, we only went for 3 days, but it's surprising the difference that makes. And of course, then when you come back, you have loads of things to do, don't you? So yeah, I'm trying to kind of catch up really. So yeah, it's not great. So I do apologise if you've emailed me and I'm even slower than normal. I mean, I think my Etsy emails are kind of there now. But yeah, I do apologise. You know, I mean, I'm rubbish at emails generally, but obviously, you know, this has made me even more rubbish. So I do apologise. And as for my comments, you know, I'm obviously more behind. So that's your pocket, and you've got literally a pocket in here, and then you've got a pocket at the top, and then you have another pocket, oops, in the very top there. And then when you glue that down, you could always glue it on 3 sides, so you'd have another pocket. Aren't they super simple? I mean, they are just awesome. My type of pocket, you know, lots of impact, lots of space, but hardly any effort to actually make them, which yeah, just my type of thing really. I'm just going to grab another glue. Okay, fingers crossed my next glue is going to be a little bit more successful. So that's all that I'm going to be doing for the whole of the mass making. I mean, again, probably don't really need to kind of talk you through anymore because, you know, as I say, it's such a lovely, super simple pocket. And yeah, it probably doesn't really require much more talking about. So I'm going to try it with some thicker paper here. So this is, I think this is like 230 GSM or something. So it's much heavier weight, and we'll just give that a try and see how that works out, because then we'll know, you know, what works out better. So again, just fold that like that. And then I'm just going to bring this over, meeting the edge like that. Okay. And then again, just glue that down across here. Or along here, like that. Okie dokie. Oops. And then, okay. And fold that over, and then again, you can just, you know, press it down with my wipe, or obviously with your spreader, like that. Okay. and then obviously decide, you know, roughly where you want it folded up. So I think probably again about here. And what I might do is with this one, trim it top and, you know, the top pocket and this pocket, so that I get a bit more, you know, where I actually want it. So just trim this down here like that, and then just a bit across the top like that. Oops. I mean, I'm not making a very good job of cutting these. They are not going very straight at all. So yeah, I'm obviously just having one of those days yet again. I seem to say that all the time lately, but there we go. Right, and of course, you know, I can trim that down a little bit more sort of in slower time. So as long as I've got the basics made, then that's kind of the main thing really. So again, I'm just going to come up this, you know, where I've already glued down the gusset side there, and then across the top like that. Okay, and then just press them in like that. Okay. Okay, so I shall be quiet probably now about, you know, what I'm doing, unless I do something drastically different, which, let's face it, I'm probably not likely to do anything drastically different. So I'll yeah, stop talking through the process really. But they're wonderful pockets, aren't they? So yeah, I was excited to find these, and I thought, brilliant. Perfect for a mass make, I think. So last note on what we're doing, I probably will make one or two from that sheet music. So yeah, we'll just kind of see how that goes, because obviously that's different size paper as well. But I see no reason why you couldn't make these with any size paper. Obviously they're just going to be, you know, taller, thinner, smaller, you know, fatter, any, you know, depending on your paper size. I mean, look, these were from the same size paper, but they're looking pretty different in size already. So, you know, yeah. So I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope you're all having a bit of a less flustered day than I am. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so flustered, but, well, like I say, just playing catch up really. But, and obviously it's the school holidays, so that's another factor, isn't it? So yeah, we had a really nice time camping. We went away in our tent. Now, my eldest son, oh, by the way, thank you so much to those lovely people who congratulated him on passing his driving test. He's obviously super thrilled to have passed, and yeah, I still feel a bit nervous and frantic, especially because obviously he will keep driving about, which of course he would. But on Saturday he went, you know, for a day out in Brighton, which that's about probably, oh, I don't really know how far that is, but it probably takes, you know, just over an hour to get to. So I mean, it seemed like quite a significant drive to go on, and I did kind of say, oh, do you have to go there? You know, can't you just go somewhere local? No, I want to go there, you know. So yeah, he took his girlfriend, you know, well, she's not really his girlfriend. He keeps, well, I shouldn't really say in case she picks up my video, but his friend anyway. He took her, and yeah, they obviously, you know, they went shopping, had a nice time. Although, to be honest, how nice that would have been, because of course, you know, shopping's not what it was, because you're now having to wear masks and queue to go into shops. I mean, I think they did have a nice time, but yeah. So yes, he didn't come camping with us because he was obviously working last week, and my husband had taken annual leave because, of course, and I think I talked about this last week, you know, the situation being as it is, obviously everyone's going to have a glut of annual leave left to take, you know, all at the same time, like at the end of the year when the weather's not very nice. So he's taking some of his leave, obviously, you know, during the summer holidays, and, you know, of course we're not going anywhere really, but we're going to try and do like a few camping type things just locally, you know, and just have a nice time like that. But yeah, my son, obviously he was working, and I did say, do you want to take some of your annual leave, you know, and come with us? And obviously, having asked where we were going and finding out it was literally where we normally go to the beach anyway, he was like, oh, no, I don't think I'll bother. So he didn't come with us. But having said that, he did pop down and see us both nights, which was lovely because I mean, literally we camped like where we go to the beach. So like where my parents live. So it was like 8 miles from our house. But, you know, that's great because obviously, you know, we're close to home. My son's here on his own. So if there was any problems, we're just nice and close. And, you know, it just worked out really well. And of course, you know, sorry, I'm just rummaging through the papers here. You know, of course, my daughter didn't care where we were going. For her, it was just about the fact that we were going camping at all. You know, it's just about the experience, really, isn't it? So, you know, it worked out fine doing that. And I mean, I said before, we are not exactly what you would call seasoned campers, you know. So we were really lucky because we went away, the weather was lovely, you know, we had a nice time. And of course, you know, we were close to home so that if suddenly like there was a massive storm or anything like that, and we were all drenched and freezing and not having a very nice time, we could just have come home, you know. And it wouldn't be the end of the world. Whereas, I mean, if you've travelled like 6 hours in a car or something to get somewhere, you're going to be less likely to want to come home, aren't you? So it worked out well. And as I say, my son then, he phoned on the first night. He said, you know, what are you having for dinner? So we were having fish and chips the first night. So said, you know, fish and chips. Oh, I've come down and join you for dinner. So obviously he fancied fish and chips as well. So, you know, that was really nice because he was able to drive and, you know, pop down to see us. So he came down and had fish and chips with us. And then, I mean, I didn't have fish and chips, but everyone else did. And then the second night, what did he do the second night? Oh, the second night was even nicer because actually he was then going off to meet his friend on the first night. So although he popped down, he didn't stay that long because he was having to meet up with his friend. So, you know, he kind of merely, you know, or literally had dinner with us and then went, you know, which was nice, obviously, that he even popped down at all. He didn't have to. But the second night, he didn't have sort of other plans. So, again, he came down and, he actually bought some kebabs down from, you know, where we live and where we would get kebab from anyway. Again, I didn't have kebab, but they did. And, yeah, he bought those down because we haven't got like all the camping gear to be able to make stuff and things. But he came down, he bought the kebabs down. You know, obviously we paid for them, but he brought them down with him. Was able to pick them up, which was fantastic. And, it was lovely because he then spent the whole night, well, not the whole night because obviously he didn't sleep there, but spent the whole evening with us until about 9:30 or something. So it was really nice. And we just had a lot of fun. And I mean, I think I've said before, but yeah, I mean, we don't really do the whole camping thing. You know, normally it's like one night and that's it. And we get there as late as possible, kind of go to sleep, leave as early as possible, you know, and that's kind of it. But each time we have been, we just do have this really good fun, you know, laugh really. And it obviously just brings out something in me because my son said, you know, oh mum, what is it about camping? It just seems to bring out all of your terrible mum jokes. So yeah, I don't quite know what it is about camping, but obviously it just makes me bring out all the horrible, terrible mum jokes. But we did have a good time. And yeah, had a lot of fun when he was down. And my middle son, because we only booked for one night originally, and then my middle son, in order to try and persuade him to stay, you know, said, well, why don't you invite your friend down for the day and you can hang out with her all day, you know, and just kind of come back sort of at dinner time to the tent. So that's what he did. So luckily his friend came and visited, and they hung out together at a different part of the beach. So they weren't embarrassed, you know, having to be with us all day. And yeah, they had a really, really nice time too. I'm just looking through, seeing what other paper I might like. So they had a really nice time too, and then she stayed for dinner as well. So she left literally just a little while before my eldest son, my eldest son left. So it was really fun, really, really nice. And obviously that cheered my middle son up as well, that he had his friend there. So it all worked out really nicely. And yeah, a good time was had by all. And we went to the beach. I'm not sure whether we went to the beach. I can't remember, to be honest. Anyway, the weather then deteriorated a little bit. But so when we came home at the weekend was very, very busy, and, sorting out things, and how life goes. So, but what we said was, wouldn't it be good to be able to go camping sort of as our holiday this year? Now, as I say, that was the longest we'd ever camped for, last week. So we are far from seasoned campers, to be honest. But, we did say, well, but yeah, that would be really nice this year, because of course, it's going to be that or nothing. No one's going to be really going on holidays. So we started having a look to see about getting maybe a bigger tent, and maybe one that's slightly, well, ours is easy to put up. I have to say we struggled like mad to put it down. Well, no, that's not true. We struggle like mad to get it fitted into the bag again. So, we managed to get it down fine, and it's all good, and then, so that maybe only takes like, I don't know, not long at all, 10 minutes. And then fitting it into the bag, we're looking at the instructions and we're rereading them. Can't fathom out at all for the life of us how to actually get it fitted into the bag. Honestly, people on that campsite must have just been watching us. We were probably their amusement for the day, because we just couldn't get it fitted into the bag. And then just suddenly, as if by magic, like the tent just suddenly folds correctly. I have to be honest, by itself almost, like you fiddled and fiddled and fiddled and tried to get it to squash up and, fold correctly, and it doesn't. And then just all of a sudden, you haven't really done anything differently, but suddenly it just folds in the right way and into the bag it goes. So it was one of those kind of scenarios. And so we said, wouldn't it be good to be able to get a tent that actually folded up a little bit easier? And also maybe a little bit bigger, because of course, my boys they're 13 and 17, but they're both, they're quite big boys, and they're much taller than me. Even my 13-year-old is now taller than me. I'm 5'5". He's probably like, I don't know, 5'7" or something. So he's not vastly taller, but he is taller than I am. And my eldest son is probably similar height to my middle son. So yeah, obviously they're like two fully grown people in the tent, and obviously my daughter's tiny still, but well, tinier. She's 6, so she's not like a baby or anything, but we could just do with something a little bit bigger probably. So we then were looking at other tents. Oh, it's just like a minefield, isn't it? Because then you start looking, and then you're like, oh, that looks great, and that looks great, and that looks great, and your budget goes up and up, and then you're sort of like in the end so baffled, and looked at so many, they all merge into one, and you just think, oh, I give up now. And also we phoned a couple of campsites, because we said we could go further afield, like maybe, I don't know, Devon or somewhere like that, which I think Devon itself is like about a 3-hour drive from us. I couldn't tell you how many miles, but the roads are not brilliant getting to Devon. So when we went there last time, I think it actually took us 6 hours to get there, because there was so much traffic. It was just, the journey from hell. It was bumper to bumper, and it was really hot in the car, and just really horrible. So anyway, but we phoned a couple of campsites in Devon to see if they had availability, and so that was like the next stumbling block, because actually a lot of them are already fully booked, because of course nobody's going on holiday abroad. and they were quite expensive, you know, because again, you know, you're not really going to necessarily want to camp unless the weather's really good, are you? So if you're paying quite a lot of money and then the weather's rubbish, you know, on top of the cost of a new tent, yeah. So I don't know quite what we're going to do, but we're just still mulling it over and, you know, deciding what to do really. But so that's kind of how we've spent our weekend and our last few days. And then sorry, again, I'm just choosing more papers. I haven't got, you know, necessarily loads of papers printed on different thickness paper, and I think I do prefer the thicker, you know, the thicker paper rather than the thinner. Yeah, so anyway, that's kind of how we spent our time. And then of course then we're looking at other things like you know, our main source of annoyance was, as I say, I mean, we didn't have like a camping stove or anything like that, which was fine because, you know, we were able to just get fish and chips and things. But, and, you know, at lunchtime you can just buy like a baguette and some, you know, soft spread or, you know, whatever, or some cheese slices and things. But it was horrible not having a cup of tea. So we then were looking at sort of camping stoves and kettles and, you know, all of that kind of malarkey. And then, yeah, all sorts of things, to be honest. So it all ends up kind of zapping up all of your time. And you just kind of end up looking for about 3 hours and then you're like, oh, you know, I give up now. So that's a bit where we're at the moment. But, and then of course, you know, you then look at the cost of how much it's all coming to. And you just think, well, actually, this is crazy because we could probably just go and stay, you know, in a hotel or something for the same price. Because by the time that you've bought the tent and everything else, it's really no cheaper. But obviously then you do have the tent for another year. And of course, you know, kids like camping, don't they? I mean, I don't know about my son now because he's obviously 13. He's not like a, you know, really tiny child anymore, so I mean, I'm not sure that he really loved it. But my oldest son did say that, you know, if we go like to Devon, he will come with us, you know, well, depending on where we go, he will come with us. So we'll have to see. But, you know, I mean, obviously the thing with camping, it's a different experience to going to a hotel, isn't it? And you know, it's kind of more fun. I say that it's only kind of more fun, obviously, if the weather is okay, because of course if the weather isn't brilliant, it's, let's face it, going to be not much fun at all. And I'm sure those rubbish mum jokes will go soon out the window if we just sat there freezing and soaking wet and all the rest of it. But yeah, so we'll have to kind of see. But I mean, I don't know. I saw this morning on the news over here that, you know, because lots of people have now gone on holiday, and obviously, you know, there's spikes of the virus everywhere, you know, not just abroad, this country, you know, everywhere. So, I mean, even, you know, we could go to a campsite here and then find, oh, we maybe are, I don't know, like subject to a local lock-in, or not a lock-in, a lockdown, you know, or something like that. But it said, I think on the news, there's certain parts of Spain that, you know, have had an outbreak now. And so people travelling to those areas, of course, are now going to be subject to like 14 days quarantine when they come back and things like that. I don't know what the situation is while they're out there, whether there's a lockdown in those areas or whether they're free to, you know, still enjoy their holiday. I don't really know. But, you know, it's all very uncertain, isn't it? So, I don't really know. So then that brings me back to our local campsite, which, you know, just 8 miles away. I know it's just not really having a holiday at all, but, you know, maybe that's the most sensible option. I don't know. It's very tricky, isn't it? But I mean, it comes to the point where you do kind of need to have a holiday, don't you? Because if you don't get away from things a little bit, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of on things all the time. And, you know, I'm sure I'm not alone in that. I'm not kind of saying, oh, I'm great, you know, I'm working all the time. I don't mean that. I just mean, you know, it's hard to stop what you're doing when you're at home, because of course you think, oh, well, I'll just quickly do this, or I'll just quickly do that, or, you know, I'll just reply to these emails, or, you know. And so then you never really get a break. And the only time you do is, I mean, like when we were at the campsite, I had obviously limited access. Well, mainly because I had no power to be able to plug my iPad back in to charge it. So it was obviously switched off most of the time, and I just switched it on a couple of times to just, you know, I don't know, just double check that there wasn't anything really, really urgent. But of course you can't really tell that without then logging on. So yeah, it's not a brilliant scenario, but it is kind of needed to make you step back and stop, you know, stop working, I suppose, and stop being on devices and, you know, all those kinds of things. I've just picked up the wrong glue. I thought, why is that not working? So I don't know, but we'll sort something out, I'm sure, and I'll keep you guys posted. I mean, probably we'd only go away for, I don't know, 5 or 6 nights, because again, I think I mentioned before, but my youngest son now has also started working at the cafe or the restaurant where my eldest son works at weekends. So they both now work Sundays, and you know, because he's only just started there, he doesn't really feel comfortable obviously taking time off really for a holiday, I suppose. So we probably would only go for like 5 nights, 6 nights, so that he'd be back, or they would both be back for their shift. So we'll have to see what happens really. But you know, I'm sure we're not alone. I'm sure most people are in the same boat. And actually, I mean, aren't we lucky to even, you know, be considering going anywhere? Because let's face it, at the beginning of this year with the lockdown and things, it looked like we weren't going to be going anywhere at all. So I mean, even just being able to go out in the car is, you know, an improvement to where we were back in April. So I mean, luckily we hadn't booked a holiday or anything like that, because I know that some people are having terrible problems. If they had booked a holiday already, you know, I think people are having some problems getting their money back and things like that, or changing it to next year but keeping the same price, and, you know, all those kinds of things. So we were lucky that we hadn't actually booked a holiday at all. So yeah, I don't know quite what's happened, you know, whether some people have been forced to go on holiday now regardless. I'm not really sure. But oh, I've picked up the wrong glue again. Which actually, that brings me on to, has anyone else watched Dee Dee Farago? Has anyone else watched her video of, they went away in their camper caravan. I don't know whether they're called caravans in the States. So if you're over there and they're not called that, do you just call them a camper? You know, I'm not quite sure. I mean, over here we call them caravans. I'm not sure whether they're called that sort of everywhere. But yeah, they went away in their caravan, and they took like a buggy jeep thing with them, and were, you know, going all over the dunes and things. Oh my gosh, what a fantastic time it looks like they were having. So Dee Dee, I don't know whether you watch these mass makings, but if you catch this, wow, what a fantastic time you had. She just did like a montage video of their time away, and it looked epic. I mean, I have to say, my gosh, our camping trip looked so lame and boring in comparison. Yeah, they had a really awesome time. So it was really lovely to see that film. It's really nice when you can you know, see what other people get up to, isn't it? And yeah, I really like sort of seeing a bit more about people, because we watch them on YouTube and it's nice to sort of see a bit more about them. And actually, in fact, Laurie from Girl on the Ridge, she had a video showing her coffee dyeing process, and so she showed her face on there, and that was absolutely lovely as well to see her in the flesh for the first time, because obviously, you know, people have their little picture, don't they, but you can't really tell what somebody looks like from that little tiny picture. So it was lovely to see her, very glamorous lady. So I thought she would be. I didn't think that she wouldn't be for 1 minute, but yeah, so she was on her video. I'm just working out which way round to go with this. Yeah, she looks super glamorous and lovely. Well, just how I thought she would look, you know, lovely and glamorous. And Chelle and Clint, again, Chelle from the Ramblin Crafter, they did their first face-to-face video and talked about how they met. And that was so fun too. I love hearing people's stories of how they met and things like that. They're just such fun, aren't they? And again, like I say, it's really nice to get to know people a bit better. So that was really lovely. So if you haven't seen either or any of those, Dee Dee, Laurie, or you know, Chelle and Clint, then, you know, head over and have a look, because it's just really nice to get to know our, you know, channels that we watch, get to know them a little bit better, isn't it? So there we go. I mean, obviously it's not always kind of feasible or, you know, doable, is it, to share sort of things like that, but, you know, it's nice when people can, because it's nice to see how people look in the real world, or what they do, or how they met and things like that, or how they get started in their crafting journeys, and, you know, or anything else, any other journeys. I know that there was the 10 crafty questions, I think it was, challenge, and that must have been last year, which, that's crazy, it just feels like the other day, but I'm pretty sure it was last year, unless it was the beginning of this year. I've lost all track of time, to be honest, because it's been such a weird year, but I know that that was really great fun again, to sort of hear a little bit more about people. And I think it was Natasha from Treasure Books. Oh my gosh, her 10 crafty questions, that was such an amazing video. It was so lovely to hear her journey. She had been, I think she was like a refugee, and oh, it was just lovely. I mean, she had come from such a sort of, you know, not a very nice kind of start, and a very humble kind of start, I guess, in life, and, you know, difficult circumstances. And oh, that was just so lovely to hear her story. And yeah, that was really, really nice. So things like that, they're just lovely, aren't they, to get to know people a little bit better, I suppose. So that one, obviously, you know, completely different to these, because obviously it's a lot smaller, you know, which you can obviously see. So isn't that gorgeous? So I'm going to make another one, I think, with this one now. So let's just fold this in here. Just wondering if I did it that way, and then it would be like that. No, I think I'll have the sheet music side. Yeah, so that was really nice. Okay. As I say, I've filmed like quite a few videos this morning. I had like flip throughs and things to do, and, you know, a few people had emailed me asking if things were going to be for sale soon, and, you know, things like that. So I've been trying to do those types of videos all morning, and I've got loads of other videos that, you know, dying to do, and sadly I'm just going to run out of time, I think, today. So hopefully I might be able to do some tomorrow, you know, because I'd like to be able to do some of these things, but we'll have to see how it goes. Right, we'll have to have it like that, and obviously when I come to decorate this, I would cover up where it says the king upside down. So again, just cut across here, and I'll just get rid of that sort of texty bit as well that would be upside down like that. Okay. Right, so let's just glue that down. There we go. Oh, and another quick note. So yes, with regards to posting, so I've had to post a couple of things lately, and I just want to apologise because a couple of things have taken longer to post than, you know, I had hoped. Now, obviously, I'm not the fastest person at posting anyway, because of course, you know, like everything, it takes ages to kind of get around to having time to do that. But the other thing is our post office, and I know I've talked about this loads of times before. Oh, it's shocking. I mean, it's supposed to be open from 6 in the morning to 11 at night. Actually supposed to be 7 days a week. Well, it never really was providing that service in the first place, but since the pandemic, it's just deteriorated even further. So now it's absolutely rubbish. I'm just going to decorate one of these up. So let's just see which one should we decorate. All decisions. I don't know which one to decorate now. Perhaps we'll decorate this one. Yeah, it's always a bit of a shocking service, I have to say, unfortunately. But it's definitely got even worse since the pandemic. It's obviously, I mean, you know, I'm sure there are genuine, you know, staffing issues and all those kinds of things. Unfortunately, because they were rubbish in the first place, your patience is not quite as it should be, because you then sort of think, well, you know, you've always been sort of rubbish like that. So, yeah, I just want to apologise because I know that a couple of things have actually taken like way longer than I would have hoped to post. But, you know, what happens is I obviously pack it up for posting, get to the post office, and then it's not open. I mean, they actually appear to have changed their hours now and cut them down. And as well, they, you know, they've cut their hours down, and even when the hours are supposed to be open, they're then just closed. You know, you get there and then it's just closed. Now, that has been a pattern anyway, you know, for the longest time, but they are getting even worse. So I just want to just apologise because a couple of things have then ended up taking me like 7 days to actually post, you know, because I maybe kind of try and post them on like day 4 or 5, and, you know, then I get there and I can't post them. And I might go the next day and can't post them again. Then, you know, I might be too busy the next day, so I can't get there. And then, you know, I can't get there till the following day kind of thing. So I just want to apologise for that because it's really rubbish, you know, and it's very frustrating when they're just not open on that sort of regular basis like that. But yeah. Right. Okay, so that's that one. And then we'll just finish that off with a bit of inking and a bit of lace. So let's just get my vintage photo. And in fact, I mean, I'm sure I might have mentioned this before, but I think it was my 15,000 subscriber giveaway. And the winner, the first winner for that, which was Laura's junk journal, which she had donated, you know, so kindly. That journal I posted, I can't actually remember the details, but I posted it, and I think her name was Fiona, I think. Oh my gosh. She emailed me literally like 2 months later and said, oh, I'm really sorry to contact you, you know, but I just wondered whether you've posted my journal. Well, luckily I, you know, always post tracked and signed. So I was able to have a look, and again, that system doesn't always work. I mean, touch wood, it does always get there, but the track system doesn't always work. Anyway, it did work that time, so I was, thank goodness, able to have a look and, you know, give her the tracking information. And I said, you know, as you can see, I posted it way back, and it was, you know, some ridiculous length of time, like literally 2 months or something. I can't remember all the details, but that's how long it took to get to her. So again, you know, things are clearly, there's some sort of weird hold up, you know, with the post. And I mean, I'm presuming that that's no longer quite the situation now. Hopefully things have improved from that, but that was, you know, the situation back then. And I just couldn't believe it because it just looked like I hadn't posted it. And thankfully she was able to see through the track and trace thing that of course I had posted it. And you know, thank goodness she was able to see that. But it's pretty rubbish, isn't it? There we go. Might just put some bling on there, and then I might put a butterfly on, so just put that there like that. And then I think I just have a butterfly, so let me just have a look. No, not that one. Maybe this. Maybe that one's quite nice. So let me just ink that up. Okay. Don't know whether that one is quite right, to be honest, but let me just have another rummage through my little box here. Ah, that one's better, I think. So I'll just put these ones away. Oh, it's got a little bit cut out of it. Let me just neaten that up there. Okay. So we'll just have that actually go in there, I think. Like that. So there we go. So gorgeous pockets, aren't they? Absolutely love them. So I'll just count up how many we've done. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've done 9, which isn't too bad. So I will try and remember to link Joie De Fi's video for her original tutorial for these. Great pockets, and yeah, I hope that you all liked them. So right, so sorry, but the abrupt ending I think is going to have to come, because my the phone is now saying it's very low battery, so I best quickly say my goodbyes before it just shuts me off. So thank you so much for watching. I will try and remember to link Joey's video below, and hopefully see you guys next week, or sooner, hopefully. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.